Welcome to Moms in the Zone. We thank you for tuning in for this episode of Moms in the Zone. Today's guest is Miss Stephanie Roach. Miss Stephanie is the mother of Caitlin Gibbert, a redshirt sophomore and combo guard at the University of Notre Dame. Welcome to Moms in the Zone, Stephanie. How are you?
Fine. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being a guest on this episode of Moms in the Zone. So the first thing we want to ask you is just get right to it. Tell our guests a little bit about Caitlin's mom. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, okay, where do you start? I'm Stephanie. I'm a single mother of just one, Caitlin. She's my only one, my baby. I used to play basketball. Actually grew up and played at North Central with Nikki. We played together, a couple of years. I am a nurse, and currently I still coach. I used to coach Caitlin's high school team, and then when she went off to college, I quit coaching there, and I just coach about freshman, sophomore age girls in the summertime. So basketball is my life. That's my love.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Awesome.
Now, Stephanie, do you have an AAU team, don't you?
Yeah, Team Teague.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when is the next season? I mean, how can we support you? I want to know more about you. I know we already talk about Caitlin, but you know.
Well, actually, our season is wrapping up. You know, with this year being 2020 and the pandemic is so crazy. We have 2 more tournaments left. We have a tournament actually next weekend. Well, the 2 following weekends. We'll be at the convention center downtown, actually, is really wild. And I think we play at D1 Factory as well. So these are our last tournaments of the year, and then the girls will transition from summer ball to school ball.
So how is that like from a coaching aspect? I mean, because I know you still have to have practice, and then, I mean, what does it look like?
We consider our girls basically family. I mean, we should keep, the distancing and everything. But when you're playing basketball, it's almost impossible.
Yes.
We ask the girls if they're sick, don't come to practice. We've had one girl who's been out for a week because she's been sick. I don't think she's gotten tested, but with them being in school and doing a hybrid schedule, having to go to school twice a week or whatever, we just ask them to be very mindful. They have to foam in and foam out, or basically use hand sanitizer when they come into the gym. If you're sick, stay at home, bring your own water bottles, and they use their own basketball. Unless we're scrimmaging. If we're scrimmaging, then we have one ball. But, we try to keep their health, their health first in mind. So basically, it's up to their parents whether they want to bring them or not. And I'm going to be honest, I felt kind of uneasy playing at tournaments just because I'm a nurse. So I know how serious this pandemic is. But every single parent wanted their kid to play. And I understand that because in the big aspect of things, they're basically showcasing their kid to get a free education to go to college. And time is critical for these girls. We do our best as possible. Thank God, knock on wood, we haven't had any issues. All the girls are healthy. All the parents are healthy. So we're good.
So is there any communication that takes place before you play another team? Are you like contacting the coach saying, hey, or is it just a known fact that you shouldn't allow players, that are positive to play? Is there any communication
it's a known
that
fact. When you go into the tournaments, there's hundreds of teams. So when you go into the tournaments, everybody's supposed to check their temperature when they come in. We don't do handshakes. We don't even talk to the other team. We don't do none of that no more. The girls come back to their respective bench. They go out on the court, they play, and they come back to their respective bench. The only time they're in contact with each other is on the court, but we try to limit the contact.
And then as far as the referees, because I know when you take the ball out, are they like social distancing, or is it just they just have on a mask and
they don't even have masks on?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you get into the gym, the masks come off when you're at your floor. When you go between the floor, like they don't allow you to sit in the gyms anymore and watch people play or whatever. Once you're done with your game, you have to exit the building.
Okay. So you guys don't have any family or friends or fans in the stands or anything?
Yeah, but it's limited. It's not like it used to be. There used to be maybe 100 people per game. Now you probably have just the immediate family.
And do the fans have to be in masks when they enter the gym or no? Okay,
Yes, the fans have to be in masks and they have to wear their mask the whole time.
And Stephanie, I know you wouldn't know this, but I know a lot of the establishments that host the tournaments, the entry fees kind of helps pay for it. Have they increased like your registration fees trying to cover some of the, because they don't have concessions anymore. They don't have
Right.
entry.
It was already outrageous to begin with. Let's just face it. It's a huge business. So an entry fees for a team could go up to $1,000. That hasn't changed nothing. However, I did notice that the parents paying to get in for a weekend could be $60, $70 for a weekend pass.
And now, so tell us a little bit about Caitlin. How was her journey when she first started playing basketball? I assume, you played, and so she probably had some, knowledge of mom playing and things of that nature. So how did she get into playing basketball?
Kate has been playing since I can remember. 5 years old. I think I started her out at the church league at Eastern Star in the YMCA. So that's all she's ever known as basketball. And that's ever I've always taught her is that, basketball is your key to go into college for free. So that's all she's known all the way up to high school. She's been around it every single year, every single summer from the time she was in the 3rd grade up until the 8th grade. She played in AAU Nationals every single summer. It was like no break or anything. I did give her an opportunity. I talked to her and asked her, are you sure this is what you want to do? Yeah, she's sure this is what she wants to do. So, okay, if this is what you want to do, you got to sacrifice. And she understood that there was limited football games. She couldn't go to birthday parties. She just didn't have no time because in the summertime, it was all about basketball. And it paid off for her. It was a commitment that she made. She's getting an $80,000 a year education right now. That was the big picture. That was a big scheme of things, She started getting recruited early, probably around, she accepted an offer in the 7th grade. She originally was committed to go to Evansville. And then that coach ended up getting fired. So she opened things back up. And when she opened things back up, I think it was her freshman year, the recruitment just took off from there.
Wow. So speak on that, because I have never heard of being able to commit like that. I know with football, it's getting younger and younger kids are in that arena. But how does it work in a middle school setting to be able to commit? How does that come about?
At that time, it was really unusual for her. At that time, I think it was her and there was another young lady that committed to Texas. Those two out of her grade were committed that early. But 8th grade, you have hundreds of girls across the country commit. They're getting offers younger and younger and younger.
Yes.
The commitments now are starting to hold off those commitments till they get older, just because they know it's like a merry-go-round with the coaches in college basketball. Especially right now, it's like an influx of new coaches coming in and all the old coaches are leaving out. So that's probably having an effect on when girls are committing. But also with the pandemic, coaches can't offer girls that young anymore because they're too worried about solidifying their rosters for the next 2 or 3 years, because now the coaches can't go out and see girls like they used to. It's just a whole dynamic of things have changed, and it's probably going to change for good from this point forward.
COVID has shifted a lot. It has made a lot of, things in the athletic arena shift a lot. And so then when you say, as far as the process of how things were, things different for Caitlin because she had received that offer, committed in 7th grade, when she decided to, make that change from Evansville to Notre Dame because the coach, left that school. How did she go about selecting Notre Dame as her school, like on her recruiting journey? What were the factors you guys considered?
Caitlin has always, since she opened up her recruitment, she was a big fan of Notre Dame. She loved Notre Dame. Scholar Diggers, the whole nine. That was the biggest thing going. I've always taught her it was important to represent where you come from. So we knew she was going to go to an Indiana school. That was just it. What Notre Dame had to offer was just, unmatched. They have this slogan, 4 + 40. So you're committing for 4 years. However, you're getting 40 years of worth of benefits. It was an easy choice at that time. She loved the coaches. She loves what they stand for. At the time, it was the legendary Muffet McGraw who recruited her. And she has done more for our community than a lot of our coaches have done for our community. One thing that stands out in my mind, and I think one thing that really had my daughter love Notre Dame, was when, I forget who it was, but it was someone had got killed senselessly by the police department. And so she allowed her girls to go out and to take the court with "I Can't Breathe" t-shirts. That made national news. That was unheard of. That was back maybe, I can't even recall when it was, but it was a long time ago. And that really just won my daughter's heart. She's like, I want to play for somebody like that. I want to play for a strong woman who is not afraid to speak up.